There's no way that you can celebrate The Acolyte being canceled and truly be a fan of Star Wars, of the Force, of the Jedi, and of George Lucas, because that is a completely at odds with everything, every belief, everything. Also, I hate you.
Absolutely.
Did you guys see Priscilla's video? Do you know who Priscilla is on TikTok?
Yes, I did see that
did
video.
Did you see her video?
Priscilla.
And it was fantastic. But to kind of like jump off from that statement, I'm just going to go ahead and cover the real world applications of this statement. You shouldn't celebrate losing a thing that you're supposedly a fan of. You should not be celebrating people losing a thing that they enjoyed. It's okay, like we keep saying on this podcast and on our videos, it's okay to not like a project, but to actively celebrate those that loved it or enjoyed it losing it is not fandom behavior. You guys can get everything that you absolutely want from a Star Wars project. They can even hire Theory to write a story, and they can give it to you, and you guys can praise it to hell. We would never lobby for you to lose it. So the celebration of people who enjoy The Acolyte losing this is not fandom culture.
And what's more than that is we know the types of behaviors and things that drove George Lucas away from Star Wars. Why would I want to make more if all people do is yell at you and tell you how you're a terrible person? That's a quote from George Lucas, right? Can you imagine how much, if after the prequels came, if those got canceled, can you imagine the celebration that the original trilogy fans would have? But do you understand how much we would have lost collectively? Mm-hmm. That would have been terrible, right? You can't root for that. Same thing with the Clone Wars. People say Clone Wars is peak Star Wars now. It wasn't when it came out. Even kind of objectively, the first season was a little rough.
Oh yeah. But it took me 3 seasons to get into it, but yeah.
But how could you celebrate if something like that got removed? The whole crux of the conflict with the Force is it's selfless versus selfish. And if you are you are so selfish that not only do you want to have what you like, but you don't want that person to have what they like. It's the same thing that happens with representation too, because these individuals are still being represented. They are still there, but they rejoice when you don't get it.
Yep.
That's the epitome of selfishness. That's the epitome of being a terrible person. Some of these people wonder why they don't get opportunities for stuff, and this is why. You can't be such a hateful, spiteful person.
Always living
you can't enjoy
reductively.
your life. Yeah.
No, you can't. And if you're going to let people dictate what you think, because there was a comment on Amanda Lissenberg's Instagram, one of their pictures, where this person's like, don't watch it. Just watch Star Wars Theory, Nerdronic, Mike Zero. Watch them, and they'll tell you what it's about and how horrible it is. Don't give them... I'm like, is your brain so rotted by hate that you cannot form your own opinion? You have to rely on these YouTubers to tell you how to think, because your brain is so rotted by hate. People, we like to preach that Star Wars is for everybody. It's not for everybody. It's not for the racists. It's not for the homophobes. It's not for the misogynists. But those very people have made it that it's not for Black, Indigenous, people of color, women, LGBTQI+. They don't want everybody to have Star Wars. They want to take it back to, they want Star Wars to be for men again. White cis men, mind you. They want it just to be for men again, which has never been just for men. I mean,
yeah,
a woman saved the original trilogy, for crying out loud. And it's so incredibly frustrating to watch this, because it's been like this for so long. And it's never going to end. And it's like, what's it going to take to get it to stop?
And again, we've mentioned it, before earlier, but we have literally spoken to people at Lucasfilm, story group people, people, and they're like, oh, they've seen us, they know our content, and they are happy. They're happy that we make the content that we do against the toxicity and against the hate. Star Wars doesn't like these people.
There's a different, there's definitely there's a line between constructive criticism and then whatever the hell that shit is that's going on. But you also have to remember not to fall on that toxic positivity side either, that we seem to have a problem with. It's how dare you not like all of Star Wars or whatever. But I think people just tend to forget that it's okay to not like something. It's how you react and how you perceive it and how you talk to others who do like it. Just because Empire Strikes Back is not really one of my, it's one of my least favorite movies, and not my but I'm not gonna I don't want people to come up to me and be like, and it's just not everything that's going to be released is going to be your cup of tea, and that's totally okay. That's totally fine.
And this is kind of like the brain rot we live in this kind of new era. This new generation of media consumption is that everything needs to be a 10 or it's a 1. And if it's not a 10, if it's not an Emmy winner, if it's not an Oscar winner, then it can go into the trash pile. And that's just completely wrong. That's devoid of nuance. It's devoid of development. It's devoid of anything.
And no other part of Star Wars holds up to that scrutiny.
Yeah.
No.
And to kind of add an addendum to this, to the point, again, it's not about you not liking the Acolyte. I know somebody's going to comment this on this video.
So if I don't like it, I'm toxic? You're like, shut up.
And
no,
then I'm
no
gonna
one said that.
And then I'm going to respond, tell me you didn't watch the video without telling me you didn't watch the video. But the video is about if you celebrate the loss of Star Wars. And that is essentially it. If you dossier it up in a neat little package, if you are a fan of something, you should want more of it. This isn't us telling you should like all of it, but you should want more of it. You should want to keep it alive. You should not root for its death, and you should not root for other people to lose that thing.
And constructive criticism is going to get you a lot further than whatever that is going on. Because if people at Star Wars are seeing what we're saying and they see the constructive criticism, they might take that to heart and be like, okay, well, the fandom felt maybe we should do something more like this. Constructive criticism is key, not the whatever that nonsense is. Because you're just going to ignore that.
The hate falls on deaf ears.